All right, we back again. Obviously, we in the car because this is my only damn time to record, But yeah, today we're gonna be talking about the Stranger Things based on truth. So this is for my Stranger Things fans. So if you haven't watched it, that's cool. You can still stick around. Like, this is just information that really anybody can know. So in the show, it's kind of hard for me to remember like the first couple of seasons because it's been some years since I watched them. The first couple of seasons are based upon us, learning our characters and learning about one of the girls that was a part of these experiments at this certain lab. So in this lab, they start showing you like where she came from and what she deals with, and basically she's able to see into other worlds or other dimensions of a sort because they put her through like sensory deprivation, and it's really like mind controlling experiments. Now, as the show goes on, they show like in the lab, things went wrong, like things started coming out from this other dimension and started basically like wreaking havoc on the whole town and eventually the entire world, because they come to find out they had multiple labs. The main idea centers around like mind control experiments and the simple fact that there is multiple dimensions. But yeah, basically it's a depiction of two different worlds. One regular life, everybody just living life, and then you see this other dark ass world that it consists of pretty much evil, right? So if you don't know what's going on, or you've been living under a rock, that's literally our world. Like, there's a whole other side to the world that a lot of people don't see or pay attention to, obviously, because we so consumed with all the distractions as we are fed in everyday life that we don't even think about this other side of the world. But this is a truth. Now, is it exactly like how they say in the show? Not exactly, but the energies are the same. It's not like another world that a lot of people can see or hear, but it is something that a lot of people can feel, because it mainly consists of darker energies. So anyways, if you go into why they even made this show in the first place, it was based actually upon a book written by somebody who was involved with these experiments that happened in real life. In 1943, this is just going off the top of my head. This is just shit that I researched myself, that you can research yourself. But this is things that obviously happened because it wouldn't be recorded so profoundly in history, obviously. So yeah, you can take what you want out of it, but yeah, this is what happened. So in 1943, we're in World War II, and the United States is trying to figure out different ways to spy and conceal themselves as well. So they're messing around with a lot of different technologies, and if you know anything about World War II, you know a lot of high advanced technology came out of that war because of the beings that they were actually contacting in those times. But yeah, a lot of high technology. So one of these technologies they got from Nikola Tesla, and in 1943 they basically used it on one of their Navy ships called the USS Eldridge to try to conceal them and hide them from their enemies. But when they did this, what they try to say is it time traveled this ship from Philadelphia all the way to Virginia. The energy was so high in the ship that a lot of people didn't survive, and a lot of people, I guess their skin was fused with the sides of the ship or whatever. It was just a really weird scenario. I don't know if they time traveled back or what happened, but that one moment, I guess, led to a series of experiments called the Montauk Project. Now, the Montauk Project was a CIA-based operation that was in Montauk, New York. I believe it's like close to Long Island. And this was years later. This was in like the 1970s and 80s, I want to say. But like I said, after that war, that introduced us to a lot of different technologies, and that was just a story, that I read. That was one of the reasons why the Montauk Project became so profound. So anyways, the Montauk Project centered around mind control based operation. I guess they would I don't know if I want to say kidnap, because I don't really know what to call it. I don't know if they chose these people for a certain reason, but they took mainly boys and they would give them drugs. They would do experiments on their mind to try to basically make them control or see into other people's thoughts and consciousness. And if you think like this technology isn't even possible, or you think it's not available, you're very wrong. What they show you is just the fucking tip of the iceberg. Like, they know a lot more than what they show people. So anyways, while I was reading into this, basically Stranger Things was based off of a book that was written by one of the survivors of this project, who obviously had experimentation on. Now, a lot of people didn't survive it, obviously, because of obviously what they went through, whether it be physically or even the aftermath of dealing with reality, knowing these certain things. They probably were mentally insane. But yeah, it looks to me like they really tried to wipe a lot of their memories. Sorry, it's kind of raining, but yeah. It looks to me like they tried to wipe their memories, because the people that did survive, they didn't even end up remembering what happened until years later. So that was also very strange. Anyways, that book was written by one of the survivors. So it's a book that anybody can access. Now, am I saying it's all true? I don't really know. I don't know. I didn't live their life. But I'm not going to dismiss it, because I do know that they make a lot of shows and movies based on truth. So we're not going to just dismiss it for the simple fact of people calling it a conspiracy. Because clearly everything that people have called a conspiracy at this point has had some truth to it. That's just facts. It's had truth to it. But yeah, in the movie, they open up certain portals that's allowing these entities to come into the regular world. And I think this might have happened at Montauk, which is why they shut down the base. There's certain shit that they couldn't control coming in, and shit, I don't know if they found it, I don't know if they killed it, what the hell happened, but they ended up shutting that shit down, because they like, this probably isn't a good idea, But yeah, so Stranger Things is really strange. It's a really weird show, but it really highlights how they've done these experiments on people, and we look at it like, oh, that's fake, that didn't happen. No, this really happened in real life. the CIA was mainly put in place to perform these mind control experiments and to see how far they could get with their research. If you know anything about what happened in World War II, you know that some of the scientists that were from Germany, they ended up bringing over here to America to continue their experimentation and to continue their research. This is stuff that really happened. So we have basically the ops over here performing mind control experiments on people, which is fucking insane. Like, this shit is fucking crazy. Like, the shit that they've done to try to access people's minds and to see, or maybe try to outplay God, is, they fucking crazy. They crazy. He used to feed people LSD, all types of drugs, have them hallucinating, make them watch certain things, make them listen to certain things, have them go through sensory deprivation, just like Elle in the fucking show, which is fucking weird. Literally, the whole show is based around her having these powers that she accessed because she's able to go to those other dimensions. She's able to access certain parts of her mind that maybe normal people aren't obviously able to access because they ain't been through experimentation, they ain't been through sensory deprivation. Half the regular people out here, they ain't been through that shit. So it's just really weird when they show us things like this, because it's usually always telling us the truth. They foreshadowing certain things, all along those lines. In the later two seasons, they focused on Vecna, which was basically a big ass demon from the other side, that was taking people's energy and souls and using it to make himself stronger. Now, bro, come on now. Do you telling me they just make that shit for no reason? Like, come on, bro. Whatever it could seem far-fetched to certain people, I don't give a fuck. I see the other side of what people don't want to talk about. So obviously, I'm gonna talk about that shit. But yeah, anyways, the later seasons just focused on them like harvesting energies and them having to go to war with this other side, with this main being on the other side that became powerful, from taking control of all these people's lives. And ultimately, them needing the people who they did experimentation on to protect the whole goddamn world, because they obviously weren't able to fight these things with guns because it's in another realm. It's like something that I'll talk about in a couple weeks when it pertains to spiritual warfare. A lot of the attacks that we get are otherworldly, and we can't just shoot it off or fight it with our bare physical hands. So when it comes to protecting ourselves, that's something a lot of people don't know what to do. So yeah, we'll go into that in a couple weeks when I make that other video. But you know, y'all can research this shit yourself. The Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk Project, the CIA, MK Ultra, all this shit. And this is a little piece of shit that I know. Like, this is literally like a fucking page of a whole book that I know. So if this is little things that you might not know, you can literally research this shit yourself. And if you're wondering like how people even find these things, we look deeper into shit than what we just see. Like, we don't just be watching shows and be like, okay, this is just a fun show, fiction, like, cool, this is something for me to watch that entertains me. That's not how I look at that shit anymore, because I know that they put certain things in movies and shows for a reason. So yeah, that's the Stranger Things based on truth. And when I say it's based on truth, it's because this is a known fact that the CIA operated mind control experiments with MK Ultra. So why would they try to deny Montauk, which was a base that ended up getting shut down. I don't know, but it's a proven fact. It's literally written documentation of their experiments having to do with MK Ultra. So this isn't a fantasy. Like, this is shit that was performed by our own government on our own people. So if that doesn't scare you, or if that doesn't show you they don't give a fuck about us, I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. But one of the interesting things that I learned just watching interviews and stuff with the people and reading certain things is that they primarily used boys or men, teenage boys, because of the polarity in our energies. So they said that women are more likely to absorb energy and men project it. So that's why they used them, because they wanted to project certain thoughts onto people or project certain things onto the enemy. Obviously, they were practicing this for warfare. So that was really crazy, which I thought about. And one of the reasons why they attack women so profusely is because we absorb that shit. But not only do we absorb it, I think that women are able to transform it. I think everybody is able to do it, but that's just strange that that's what they would do, because basically women wouldn't scientifically work in their experimentation. I don't know. And that's strange in the show that they have Elle, like, as a girl, she's able to go through all this like trauma and weird shit, but she's also able to transform it and protect her friends and shit like that. So I don't know, overall it's just really strange to think that these things really did occur and happen. But shit, just do your research on it and remember that this shit is still going on to this day. Remember that this shit is being done by our own fucking people, or I won't even say our own people, but people that's over us and controlling us. It was done by them. It's still being done by them to this day. And yeah, just look into certain shit like this a little bit more and try to learn about it, because this is just a little piece of everything. Okay? And some of the things they show you is for a reason. But yeah, that's my Stranger Things based on truth. Do your research, find out certain things for yourself. And I hope y'all have an amazing day.